Hello, and thank you for joining us for this Microsoft Reactor live stream event. We are excited to have Prashant Boyar, an AI Microsoft MVP, back again for another session. Today, he will be presenting an introduction to AI and cognitive services for developers and information workers. This session will run for approximately 90 minutes, with time for questions throughout. He will be checking in on them, but also he'll be answering a lot of them toward the end. So feel free to drop questions in the chat throughout. If this is your first time joining us, please note that our Teams live sessions have approximately a 30-second to 60-second delay from speaker to audience. So again, those questions you're dropping in the chat, we'll see immediately, but you might not hear answers straight away. So, ensuring that they reach us and you get the responses, just make sure that you're, again, dropping them throughout. A recording of this session will be uploaded to our YouTube channel in a few days. I will drop a link to the YouTube in the chat as well. At the conclusion of this session, I will be sharing a link to our Reactor feedback survey. The Reactor program is always striving to provide new and engaging content, and your feedback really helps us to curate topics that better suit our audiences. So please, if you have the time, please fill it out and submit it. At this time, I'm going to have Prashant come on and begin his session.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on your time zone. So the topic of this talk is Introduction to AI and Cognitive Services for Developers and Information Workers. Who am I? My name is Prashant G. Boyar. I was born and raised in India. I came to United States back in 2007 for studies. I'm University of Maryland College Park alumni. I co-authored a book, PowerShell for Office 365, and also acted as a technical reviewer for the book Pro SharePoint 2013 Administration. I am from Washington, D.C. metropolitan area, and pre-COVID-19 pandemic, we used to organize a lot of in-person conferences. And most of the conferences used to focus on AI, machine learning, big data, and Microsoft 365. Post COVID-19 pandemic, we have converted all our conferences to virtual only. So if you are interested in joining us, feel free to check us out on meetup.com. We have various meetups on specific products, like we have meetup on AI machine learning, we have meetup on Microsoft 365, and also on SQL big data as well. One of the upcoming events is we are organizing a mini global Azure Data and AI Fest conference on February 5th. And we're also organizing a global AI bootcamp in between 13th and 14th January in next month. So definitely check us out on meetup.com. There you will find how to sign up. And again, all those events will be free of charge. So you can just go on meetup.com, find the event link, and then sign up to that. I am recipient of Antarctic Service Medal. And that award I got from US government back in 2008 when I did work in Antarctic continent for a couple 1.5 months. I am recipient of Microsoft MVP award, and those of you who are not familiar with this award is I don't work for Microsoft. It's just additional recognition that Microsoft gives out to the folks who does technical contributions in various areas, like product areas. This award is only valid for 12 months. And after 12 months, you have to submit your contributions that you have done in previous year. And then Microsoft evaluates that. And if your contributions are good enough, then you get rewarded for additional 1 year. So the cycle continues. And I'm getting this award since 2017. And for first couple of years, I was MVP in Office 365 apps and services, especially SharePoint. And since 2019, I'm getting MVP award in AI category. And some of the contributions can be writing blog posts, speaking at conferences, creating training content, providing direct feedback to the Microsoft product group, answering questions on various public forums, and also speaking at the conferences. Currently, I work as Senior Solution Architect at Witham. Witham is a tax audit and advisory firm. We have offices throughout the United States, and recently we opened office in Bangalore, India as well. And I work in their advisory group, and I focus on intelligent business process automation, where I use variety of products and services in Microsoft ecosystem like Azure AI, bots, Microsoft Power Platform, Microsoft 65, Microsoft Teams, and I work at Witham's Washington DC office. This is the quick information about our company. We have done 100 plus Microsoft Cloud deployments. We have 2 Microsoft MVPs on the staff. We have done 50 plus. We have 50 plus consultants dedicated to Microsoft ecosystem only, and we are providing services in Microsoft ecosystem from last 17 years. And these are some of the capabilities that we have in the group that I work for. So we have managed services, we have business process automation, we have application modernization, one window turnkey intranet, Microsoft Cloud advisory and strategy, and digital and modern workplace solution. We are hiring, so if you are interested, checking out, if you are looking for a change or someone in your network is looking for a change, definitely reach out to me, and I can connect you with the recruiting department. So as I mentioned, these are the links you can follow to join us for future events on the meetup.com. So this is going to be the agenda for this talk. It is going to be a 100 level introductory session. We will talk about the approach. We'll talk about what is AI. We'll talk what is machine learning. We'll talk about what are Microsoft Cognitive Services. We'll also cover how to get started. We'll have lots and lots of demos. We'll talk about key takeaways and Q&A. So we are using Microsoft Teams live event. So here, you will be able to ask the question in the form of chat. So feel free to post your questions in the chat window as and when you have. And I will be monitoring the chat window periodically, and Rebecca here also is going to help me to monitor the chat window. So feel free to post as many questions as you have in the chat window. So let's talk about why this session, like why we should be spending our time learning about AI. I personally think because of all the advancements that have happened in computation, the tech industry in general is focusing on using AI in business application. So you may be seeing a lot of hype or news around driverless car or autonomous car in the media. The reason we can have that now because we have the computation power to support that. And I personally think the AI machine learning space is at the same level when mobile development was when iPhone introduced iPhone 1. When Apple introduced iPhone 1. So if you go back 13 years, 2007, when Apple introduced iPhone 1, very few companies were writing applications for the mobile devices. Fast forward 13 years, if you are working for an enterprise group or if you're working for a product company, then the application you're building, the business stakeholder want to make sure that that application works on mobile device first. And if you have surplus funds, then you will support additional devices like the desktop or the tablets. So I personally think the AI and machine learning will be mainstream. That means if I am working for an enterprise group or if I am working for a product development company, and if I am the project sponsor, then I would like to make sure that in the new application that we're building, we are using AI or machine learning in the backend in some way or the another. One of the key stats I would like to highlight is, again, these stats are a little bit old. These stats are 3 years old from the holiday season of 2017, where Amazon sold millions of Alexa devices. Now, Alexa is nothing but a voice-based bot from Amazon. Similarly, we have Google Home from Google. We have Cortana from Microsoft. So the shift we have seen in the industry is if something gets popular in people's personal life, sooner or later you will see that same kind of devices getting used at work as well. Now, iPhone or smartphones are really good example. Like back in 2007, when iPhone introduced iPhone 1, people liked this concept of smartphones. And then within next 2-3 years, there is a lot of smartphones came into the market. And a lot of people started using smartphone in their personal lives. And fast forward now, like 13 years, if you join a company, whether it's a non-profit or commercial organization or even some government organization as well, They expect that you will be using a smartphone, and then they expect that you will be getting some part of the job done using the smartphone. And when this transition this transition happens without we even noticing it. So this same kind of transition will happen with something like Alexa getting so popular, or Google Home getting so popular, or Cortana getting so popular. Is sooner or later you will see that Alexas or Google Homes or Cortanas will be sitting on your desk, and you as a developer, or you as an information worker, or you as a IT pro, then need to know how these devices work, how to write application for devices, and how to support these devices. And again, all these devices are nothing but voice-based bots, and it uses underlying AI services. That's why these devices are so successful. And another key thing which is happening is, so all these big corporations like Microsoft, Google, IBM, Amazon, what they have done is they have launched something called AI as a service, where you don't need to be a data scientist to understand or to use these services, because data science, machine learning is very hard trade to master. The analogy I would like to give you here is JavaScript frameworks. If you have done any kind of web development, or if you have heard about popular web development frameworks like Angular or React, to use these frameworks, you don't need to know how these frameworks got built from the ground up. All you need to know is how to use this framework and build application satisfying your requirements. So same thing with AI as a services, where you don't need to know the underlying what kind of underlying machine learning algorithm it's using. Only thing you need to know is how to use that service and how to infuse intelligence in your services, in your application. Now, cognitive services is AI as a services from Microsoft. Similarly, from IBM, we have IBM Watson. In Google, we have Google AI APIs, and similar APIs or similar services are also available in Amazon ecosystem as well. So the approach I'll be taking in this talk is, so this session is geared towards non-data scientists, and the target audience is developers, IT pros, and power users. So let's talk about what is AI, because setting the level of expectation when we talk about AI is really important. So whenever I talk about AI, first thing that comes to people's mind is Skynet, or powerful machines invading other planets or destroying other planets. So this is the simple definition of AI. It's basically the effort to automate intellectual tasks normally performed by humans. And AI is not new to us. We as a human society is using AI since World War II. There are a lot of applications we use every day that has AI infused in it. For example, if you are using thermostat at your home, and then let's say you set a temperature of 75°F in your house, then that thermostat will make sure that particular temperature is maintained. Now, there is always underlying AI there, but now the AI is getting mainstream because of all the advancement that is happening in computation. We have very powerful machine learning algorithms that can allow us to create very powerful automations. Still, when it comes to AI, we can categorize AI into three categories. One is the strong AI, where machines are so powerful they can travel across galaxy, they can destroy other planets, they can invade other planets. Again, strong AI right now exists only in science fiction movies and science fiction novels. The second category is artificial general intelligence, where machines are very powerful. They can perform very complicated tasks which are difficult for average human being. One of the example I would like to give you here is, if you have seen Marvel Comics franchise Iron Man. So Iron Man has a personal assistant called Javris, and Javris is very intelligent. He can perform really complicated tasks which are difficult for average human being. So that's the definition of artificial general intelligence. We it's also AGI exists right now in science fiction movies and science fiction novels. Where we are right now is we are at weak AI. We have specialized services for specialized tasks. So we have services to detect the speech. We have services to detect the images. And we as a humanity is trying to go from weak AI to AGI and from AGI to strong AI. And the biggest bottleneck right now is the processing power. So the more and more processing power we'll have, the sooner we'll do the jump from weak AI to AGI. So one of the specialized services that you're seeing on the screen is, so I am speaking in English right now, and I'm using an inbuilt feature with Microsoft PowerPoint where it can translate my speech into text real time, and I can choose multiple languages. So right now I have selected English. So as you can see, this is one of the examples of AI where speech to text is happening run time, and I can also select different language. That means on this screen I can display the captioning in Spanish, in French, and in other supported languages. And these are some of the products, or these are some of the different terms you may have heard about that all constitutes or all part of the AI, which is machine learning, deep learning, image recognition, expert system, natural language processing. So all these things are a part of AI. So from now onwards, all the content that I'll be covering will be focused on Microsoft ecosystem. And this is the mission statement of Microsoft, where they want to make AI and data science accessible to everyone. And some of the services that are coming from Microsoft in last 2-3 days are quite aligned with this mission statement, where you don't need to be a data scientist. As long as you know, even if you're a power user or even if you're a business user, you can still use AI services in your application. And one of the examples that you can see is right now on your screen, where I'm using an AI service from Microsoft where my speech is getting translated real time into the text. And it is an AI service, and I can use this AI service even I'm an end user. So when it comes to the AI offerings from Microsoft, so Microsoft as an organization can be categorized into three sub-organizations. Like one is Azure, second is Microsoft 365, and third is Dynamics 365 or Power Platform. But the core of AI in Microsoft ecosystem is part of Azure AI. If you see any AI applications or offerings from Microsoft 365 platform or from Power Platform, the core of that is still coming from the Azure AI. So under Azure AI, under apps and agents, we have Azure Bot Service and Azure Cognitive Services. Under knowledge mining, we have Azure Cognitive Search. And under machine learning, we have Azure Databricks, Azure Machine Learning, and Azure AI Infrastructure. And if you are new to these concepts, or if you're new to this term, these are the resources you can follow. And one particular resource I would like to highlight is aischool.microsoft.com. So on this link, you will see really good tutorials from Microsoft on focus on AI and machine learning. And similarly, there is another site which is not listed here, like edx.org or coursera.org, where you will see the training material available from leading corporations like Microsoft, Amazon, Google, or IBM, and also leading educational institutions that you can take for free. And if you would like to have a certificate, then you just have to pay some nominal fees to them. So if you are totally new to the AI and machine learning space in the Microsoft ecosystem, then this is the flow chart you can follow. So depending on what you would like to do. So if you would like to build your own machine learning model, if you're a data scientist and if you would like to build your own machine learning model, then Azure Machine Learning is for you. And depending on where you would like to build your machine learning model, whether it's on premise or in cloud, you have various options available. If you are interested in just consuming the AI services, where you don't have to understand the basics of data science and machine learning, then cognitive services and bots are for you. So here I would like to pause and see if there are any questions in the chat window. All right, perfect. Looks like everything is already answered. So let's talk about bots in Microsoft ecosystem. So when it comes to bots in Microsoft ecosystem, we can categorize bots into two offerings. One is platform as a service. Second is a software as a service. Under platform as a service, we have a Microsoft bot framework. Now, bot framework is an open source SDK and tools, and it is purpose is for bot development. So it's ideal for developers who would like to create customized bots. Bot Microsoft Bot Framework right now supports 4 major languages. You can write custom bots using C Sharp, Node.js, Python, and Java. However, if you would like to deploy these bots to the Azure Bot Service, then only C Sharp and Node.js is supported. What does this mean is if you are building a custom bot using Microsoft Bot Framework and the language you selected is either Java or Python, then you will need to host that bot yourself. And while hosting it, you can either host in VMs in Azure, or you can host in VMs in other cloud offerings, or you can host in VMs in your on-premise server as well. And Microsoft Bot Framework, as I mentioned, is open source, so you can find more information about that by going to this particular link. And you will see there tons of documentation, the samples, the templates, and getting started guide. Now there is another offering under software as a service, which is called Power Virtual Agents. Now Power Virtual Agent provides you a no-code experience for bot development. And it's ideal for users, business users, and domain experts to quickly, easily build a bot. Under the hood, it is still built on the top of Microsoft Bot Framework, and it uses all the AI offerings that are part of Azure AI. But you, as a developer of the bot, you don't have to worry about it. All you have is a nice designer where you can create the bots, and where you can design the experience of the bots. You can go to this link and find more information about Power Virtual Agents. Now, Power Virtual Agents is a software as a service offering, and there is some licensing available with it comes with the licensing. However, if you go to this link, you can sign up for the free trial and play with it. There is another offering that recently got introduced as part of Microsoft 365. Since Microsoft Teams got immensely popular post COVID-19 pandemic, Microsoft launched a new offering inside the Teams called Microsoft Dataverse for Teams. Not many people know about it. It's basically a low-code data platform for Microsoft Teams, and it supports to build low-code, no-code apps, flows, and the most important thing for us is the chatbots that will work within Microsoft Teams. And everything is included as part of your existing Microsoft Teams license. That means you can create chatbots using Power Virtual Agents for free as long as you have a valid team license. So if you are using Teams in your organization, definitely look for this particular product. Just search for it, Microsoft Dataverse for Teams, and you will see tons of articles from Microsoft in how to create the Power Virtual Agents that is chatbot which will work in the context of Microsoft Teams. You can go to this link to find more information about this product. So if you haven't played with chatbot at all, and if this is the first time you'll be playing with it, I highly recommend that you try this product through Dataverse for Teams, because everything will be already available as part of your Teams license, and you can quickly test out how exactly the bot development process is, whether you like the bots or not. With that, I would like to pause and see if any questions. Looks like there are none. Okay. So let's talk about what is a machine learning. So the high level overview of machine learning is, so in what we do in machine learning is we examine large amount of data and look for the patterns. And then we generate the code that lets us to recognize those patterns in the new set of data. And then our application can use this generated code to make the better predictions. So one of the key advantage of, or one of the main goal of machine learning is it helps us to create smarter application. So the end goal of machine learning is always to make better predictions, and by making better predictions, we can have smarter applications. So this is how the machine learning in a nutshell works. So you have a data, and you like a big chunk of data which will be unstructured, but that data will contain some kind of patterns in it. And then you will be using machine learning algorithm of your choice, which helps you to find patterns in your existing set of data. Now, once you find the pattern, you will generate a model, and then your model will help you to recognize the pattern. And then you will use your model in an application, and to your application, you will feed the new set of data. Now, one thing that it is very important to understand is the top part is very straightforward, where like what we are doing with the machine learning. But look at the bottom, we have an application. So what does this tell you is, even if you have a sophisticated machine learning algorithm, which is really good, which we can make better predictions with high level of accuracy, unless you integrate that machine learning algorithm or model with a working application, you cannot use that model any for practical application. So that means whenever you are working on an AI project, you always need to have two sets of skills. You need to have a data scientist who understand machine learning, who will be developing machine learning model, but you also need to have developers or power users who can who can build applications which you can consume your machine learning model. So these are the styles of machine learning algorithm which are quite popular: regression, decision tree, neural networks, deep learning uses neural network, Bayesian, and then k-means. And if you are interested in learning more about this various types of machine learning algorithm, I recommend you to go to this link, which is Azure Machine Learning Algorithm Cheat Sheet. Sorry, this URL is not properly listed here. I will fix that in the slide deck. But here we'll find information about the various types of machine learning algorithms are there, and you can also find additional resources in case you would like to dive, like if you would like to take a deeper dive inside each type of algorithm that are out there. Let's see if there are any questions. Okay, none so far. So now let's talk about what are cognitive services. Now, cognitive services are nothing but AI as a services from Microsoft. And it is very, very easy to use cognitive services. All you need to know is the valid endpoint URL of your cognitive service and also the subscription key. As long as you have those two, then you can start using cognitive services to build intelligent application. And cognitive services are cross-platform. That means you can use that with any platform of your choice, any language of your choice. It is available with, you can use that with C#, excuse me, Node.js, Python, Java, Objective-C, PowerShell. So any language or any platform that supports consumptions of REST-based API, you should be use cognitive services there. Now, not many people know, but Microsoft is doing phenomenal job in the research area since last 20 years. And some of the machine learning models that are getting used behind the scene in cognitive services are actually product of Microsoft research. There is tons of documentation available on cognitive services. There are some GitHub samples available as well. And there is a really good community support available as well. So if you have any questions on any particular cognitive service, you can post that questions on the Stack Overflow. And Microsoft is paying some people to monitor those questions and provide the answers. If you are interested seeing any new feature that should get added in the cognitive services, you can always request that by going to the user voice. So since Microsoft Cognitive Services are nothing but the REST-based API, so where can we use them? So we can use that with any application that can consume REST-based API. That means if you are a developer, you can consume that with JavaScript application, console application, .NET application, Java-based application, iOS applications, Node.js application, Logic apps. If you are a power user or if you don't write a code, then you can use that with something called Microsoft Flow or Power Automate. You can also use that with SharePoint Designer 2013. It's a deprecated product from Microsoft, but if you are coming from SharePoint background and if you're still working with on-premise version of SharePoint, then this is the only tool or product may be available to you. But this product also supports consumption of REST-based API. On any third-party product like WinAutomate, UiPath, Blue Prism, Nintex, K2, Webcon, etc. As long as that product allows you to consume REST-based API, you should be able to consume cognitive services through that product. So let's talk about, let's see some of the practical applications of the AI and machine learning. So these are the practical applications we are quite familiar with our personal life, like a lot of leading financial institutions or credit card companies uses powerful machine learning algorithms for spam and fraud detection. One of the use cases, if you have a credit card from major credit card company like Bank of America, Citigroup, HSBC Bank, or Dish2 Bank, then and if you didn't inform your credit card company and if you went for travel overseas and within a span of 1 hour, if you frequently swipe your card for dining or for shopping, suddenly you may receive an alert, and that alert can be in any form, a text message, an email, or a call saying they are like the credit card company is saying some unusual activity on your credit card and they want to verify whether it's you or someone else is using the credit card. So the reason they can do that because they have sophisticated machine learning algorithms running in the backend which can predict your behavior or your pattern of spending. Decision engine, if you are applying for a mortgage or loan, in most of the financial institutions, the first decision is always taken by a machine learning algorithm, which comes with a recommendation with whether the company should go ahead with the loan approval or not. And after that, a human loan officer will come into picture and then he takes appropriate next steps. Recommendation engine, we are very much familiar with this as long as you have used a leading e-commerce site for shopping like the Amazon.com, Walmart.com, BestBuy.com, etc. Or if you have watched videos on streaming services like YouTube, Amazon Prime, or Netflix, where depending on your previous history, depending on your set preferences, depending on your location, age, your gender, uh, the recommendations vary. And the reason they can do that because they have powerful machine learning algorithms which can make those prediction. A lot of aircraft companies use this AI and machine learning for predictive maintenance. It is getting used in OCR as well, in natural language processing, machine translation, and in autonomous system as well. But these are some of the examples that we are seeing in our personal life. What if I would like to implement some practical applications using AI and machine learning in the enterprises? So let's talk about those. But looks like there is. Okay, there is a question from Jeevan on where can I find open source algorithms for image recognition? So those you have to search on basically on search engines. I know leading educational institutions have open source a lot of their proprietary machine learning algorithms. Companies like Microsoft, Google, IBM, and Amazon also has done that. So you just have to like search for it, and you should be able to find that over the internet. Recommendation engine. So this is something we can do in-house right now in the enterprises where if your company has let's say more than 1,000 employees and you have a really good data on what kind of training the resources like your team members have taken for how long, what was the duration, how was the cost, how much was the cost, and what was the like at what time of the year, then you can generate a machine learning model which can give you recommendation on, okay, in month of January, you may be getting a request from 20 employees for training for 2 weeks, and this much will be the cost. So since you will know uh, in advance like how much, like what to anticipate, the management then can take better decision and be prepared for those kind of situation. Same goes with the resourcing need. Process improvement. This is getting quite a traction now. One of the Microsoft ISVs already have that as part of their offering, where if you are building any kind of workflows, and if your workflow has some historical data in terms of how much time the workflow took, what are some of the steps it has taken, and if it has any kind of human intervention, then how much time each human intervention step took, then you can generate some sophisticated machine learning models which can give you a recommendation on how to improve that process, so that let's say in one particular step where there is a human intervention, that step is taking a substantial amount of time, then how you can address that issue. So those kind of things can be done using a machine learning. Text analytics. So there are a lot of practical application with the text analytics. If your company is in the business of launching the products, then you can use text analytics to quickly scan the product reviews and find out how is the response from your consumers on the product. Second is, which is not that exciting kind of a use case, but it's very, very practical. Is if your company is in the business from more than 5 to 10 years, then chances are your company has a big a location where there are tons and tons of legacy files are stored. Typically, those are called the file shares or network drives. So we can use text analytics to quickly classify those kind of legacy content automatically within a span of few hours, and so that you can take a better decision once you know what the document is all about, what language it's written, and what should we do with that, whether should to keep it the same location or shall we move it to a better location with proper tags attached to it. You can do the text analytics for social media analytics, for intellectual property, for plagiarism check, and for sentiment analysis as well. With that, we'll be going to the demo of cognitive services. From here onwards, it's all going to be demo. But before that, let me quickly check the chat window. All right, looks like we answered all the questions. All right, now for the demo of cognitive services, what you can do is open your favorite browser and use your favorite search engine and just type for Microsoft uh, Cognitive Services. Let me see, the zoom is right. Okay, and the link that you're looking for is this one, Cognitive Services API for AI developers. Click on that link. And here on this page, you will see the information about what cognitive services are, what are some of the features. But what we are interested in seeing or showing you is scroll down and go to the middle section of the page. So here what Microsoft has done is whatever cognitive services are there, they have categorized the cognitive services into 5 categories. The by default category or the first category is decision. Under decision, we have anomaly detector, content moderator, and metrics advisor, which is under preview. We have personalizer as well. Okay. And then under language, we have immersive reader, we have language understanding, Q&A maker, text analytics and translator. Under speech, we have speech to text, text to speech, speech translation and speaker recognition. Under vision, we have computer vision, custom vision, face, form recognizer, video indexer. And under web search, we used to have a lot of Bing APIs, but now those are all consolidated under Microsoft.com. So here, let's say you can find more information about a specific service. So let's say you're interested in learning more about the text analytics API, then you will be quickly clicking on that. Once you click on that, then you will be redirected to the text analytics page where you'll see some information about what this API does, what are some of the practical use cases, and in most of the cognitive services, you will see some working example on that particular services page. For example, on this particular page, we have this text analytics sample which Microsoft has created. Earlier, there used to have some options where we can provide the text runtime, and we can analyze that. But right now, it looks like they have disabled that feature. So here on the left hand side, we have a text box where we have some text in it, and this text has been sent to the text analytics API, and whatever the response of that from the text analytics API is actually displayed in the right hand section in the box where the text analytics API has successfully recognized that the text is written in the English language, and these are some of the key phrases that are there in this particular text. In the next section, we have sentiments, and sentiment information is available for each sentence. And the way sentiment work is, if the statement is if the statement is positive, then the sentiment score is towards 100%. If the statement is negative, then it will be towards a 0%. So if anything above 80%, that means the statement is positive. Anything below 20%, that means the statement is negative or very negative. So you'll see here the first statement is fairly positive, and if you scroll down, you'll see the line by line analysis of various sentences we have. Then we have name entities and we have PII entities and link entities as well. But if you are a developer and if you would like to know in what format the text analytics API will send you back the results, then you can click on this JSON tab. And here you will see in what format the results from the text analytics API will be delivered to you. So now if you like what you saw, then the next thing you will be doing is you will be start using this text analytics service API for your custom application. Now, one thing you have to keep in mind is, and you will be hearing that I'm repeating this statement again and again. Cognitive services are AI as a services from Microsoft. So under various services, the machine learning algorithm that Microsoft uses, the data it uses to train that machine learning model, Microsoft has full control over it. Only few or couple of two or three services have option where you can use your own data to train it, and you will see that description right away. For example, if you go to the cognitive services and if you go to the vision, so we have two APIs there: computer vision and custom vision. In custom vision, we can use our own data to train that service. However, with the rest of the services, you had to go with what you got. That means you will get the generic responses. If those responses are not going to work in your use case, then you have to basically explore other products or services. So in our case, I'm interested in exploring text analytics API, so let's click on that. And since these cognitive services are part of Azure group, to use these cognitive services, you need to have valid Azure subscription. So there are multiple ways to get Azure subscription that I will be covering towards the end. But the next thing is, since I would like to use this, I will be logging into my Azure portal and start create a text analytics app or application. And while it's loading, let me see if there are any questions. Okay, I see a question. Can I feed email exchanges and generate positive or negative sentiment from it? Absolutely. So the way that you will do is, if you are hosting that email in Microsoft Exchange or Microsoft 365, there is a concept available in Microsoft 365 called add-ins. Or Office add-ins, where you will be creating an Office add-in or let's say a sample application that will run in your Microsoft Exchange or Outlook, where every time you open an email, that application will then send that email text to Text Analytics API, and real time it can show you whether that email has a negative sentiment or positive sentiments in it. Another scenario you can use is if you're writing a reviews for your team members. And let's say if you would like to come as a positive person while giving the constructive review, you can use something called Text Analytics API and find out the text you are writing is actually negative or positive, because sometimes giving a positive feedback is important, especially that feedback is constructive. So here, let me see if there are any other question. Nope. So here I'll be clicking on create a resource. And here we have two options. You can either create the individual the cognitive services API service app, or you can create a generic one which is called cognitive service. And inside that, then you can create the individual APIs. So what I'll be doing today is I'll be covering the individual one, which is the text analytics. Oops, no, not this one, because this one is from the third party. I want to have from Microsoft. So let's do the text analytics. Yes, this is the one I was looking for. And whenever you're creating an asset or any new app, make sure you look for like who is providing that, because in Azure Marketplace you will see there will be some application that are provided by some third-party companies as well. So this one is provided by Microsoft, which is Text Analytics. Then you can read the description here. You can see the plans, the usage information support, the reviews, all kind of things. Then the next thing is once you would like to create, click on create here. Then give it a valid name. So let's call it as a Microsoft Reactor, and then called December 2020. And then you select the valid subscription. If you have multiple subscription tied with your account, make sure you select the appropriate subscription. The third thing is you need to select the location. Now, location is very, very important because some of the services, uh, the results that you get may vary depending on the location you choose. Uh, that will not be the case with text analytics API. But let's say if you are using a service for content moderation, then you will see different results based on where exactly that service is hosted. One of the example I would like to give you here is if you are using content moderation to flag any inappropriate images that are there. Now, if you see, there are some differences in the culture in various continents. In some countries, showing a specific portion of the body is appropriate. In some country, it may not be appropriate. So if you don't select the proper location of that particular service, then you will get some incorrect results. So in our case, since I am in East Coast of United States, I'll be selecting East US. And each cognitive service comes with a free tier. So if you are playing with this particular cognitive service for the first time, select the free or F0. Now, one thing you have to keep in mind is this F0 or free tier of each service is available only once per subscription. So if you have already created this free tier resource in existing subscription, you will not be able to create that twice, and you have to go with the paid one, which is the next in the line is standard S, and then provide the resource group. And once you do that, okay, looks like I shouldn't be using Microsoft in it. So let's call it as NYC Reactor 2020. Okay. And then click create. And this process will take a couple of minutes. Now, I will not go ahead and click on this because I have already created a free service. So let's go ahead and quickly open that. Okay. So once this service is created, so this is where you will be coming. Where if you click on the overview page, here you will see what's the name of the endpoint is and some other information. So this may not be the good example. Let me quickly open the other service that I have created. Where is that? Let me go to all resources. And here, let me quickly go to let me go to the cognitive service here. Okay, perfect. This is what I was looking for. Apply. All right, the thing I was looking for is not this one. I think it's in a different subscription. Let's select all the 3 subscription. All right, and then I was looking for okay, this one. All right. Perfect. As soon as it's open, I will walk you through the resource, and in the meantime, I will check the questions. So let's see if there is a new question. Nope. So here I will go to the overview page of the service, and here I can see what's my endpoint URL is. I will copy that. And the next thing you'll need to do is click on in the left hand navigation in the keys and endpoint. Before you do that, whenever you create a new resource in Azure, on that resource page, you will always see in the left hand navigation a link called Quick Start. Always check that link, especially if you are totally new to that particular resource or totally new to that particular service. Here you will see a step-by-step tutorial on how that service works, and you will see this link to the sample application sample code as well. So for this one, under number 3, we have a C# sample, a Python, a Node.js, a Go language, Ruby. All these kind of samples are available. And one thing I forgot to mention is, so for this cognitive services, support of under containers is also available. However, not all services supports container. I know text analytics supports container. So if you have a business case where you need to use containers, or you will not going to have uh, uh, a dedicated internet connection, let's say the internet connection may go on and off, then in that case you can use cognitive services within containers as well. However, not all services are available within containers, but text analytics is available. So in our case, we'll go into the keys and endpoint, and then I will be basically copying this endpoint URL, and then I will copying this key, and then I will start using this text analytics API in my custom application. So the sample that we will be building is, so we saw the text analytics API. So what text analytics API help us to do is it help us to analyze the unstructured text for task. And we can detect the language, we can detect the key phrases, we can detect the sentiment, and it uses advanced natural language processing. And this is the link you can go and find more information about the text analytics API. So the way the endpoint of the text analytics API will work is you will have your URL of your text analytics API app. Then you need to add /text/analytics, then the version of the endpoint, which is currently version 3.0. Then if you would like to extract the key phrases, then it will be /key phrases. If you would like to extract the languages, then it will be /languages. If you would like to extract the sentiment, then it will be /sentiment. For example, in our case, since the URL of our text analytics API app was this one, so let me readjust this. So in case I have to use this service to detect the language, so my endpoint URL will be the URL of my text analytics app /text/analytics /version 3.0 and /languages. Similarly, for key phrases, it's going to be key phrases. For sentiment, it's going to be sentiment. And under asynchronous operation, we have entities recognition and /general. So this is the application we will be building, where we will be having a form where we submit a form as part of the feedback. And in the meantime, looks like there are some questions. Okay. So we will be building a form where the form is right now hosted in SharePoint, but you can use any technology of your choice. So basically, SharePoint will provide you a form where the user will provide some comments. And then once the comments are submitted, then we will use text analytics API to obtain the language of the comments, the key phrases, and the sentiment score. And then we will show that on the screen. So it's very simple application. However, to do that, we will be using two samples. One sample where the sample is more for the power users or business users, where you will not be writing a single line of code. And in the second sample, we'll be using a C#, where the how developers can consume this API and create an intelligent application. So with that, let's go to the demo. So what I have here is I have a sample SharePoint a list here. And again, you can use, if you're not familiar with SharePoint, that's OK. You can use like any form technology of your choice. Let me see if the zoom is right. OK. And I'm clicking the new here. And what we are doing is we are providing the feedback here. So let's give it a title, calling as a Microsoft Reactor NYC December 2020, and then provide the comments. Let's add Rebecca is doing phenomenal job in organizing
Thanks, Prashant.
these events. And then let's see, and I'll just go ahead and submit this. And as soon as I submit this, you will see the sentiment score field is blank, the language is blank, and also the key phrases is blank. But what I have done is I have implemented something called Microsoft Power Automate or Flow, which is one of the service available under Microsoft Power Platform, which we can use to write automations. And what this service will do is it will take this particular text from here. It will send that to the text analytics API, and then text analytics API will then give us the response. And once the response is received, then this particular columns will get set. So let me quickly refresh this and see if the responses have came back from the text analytics API or not. And then I will walk you through the implementation. And as you can see, the responses has came. So the first, the statement is fairly positive. The score is towards 99% or towards, like, let's say 0.1. Oh, sorry, 1.0. So that means it's a positive statement. The language is English, which is correct. And the key phrases it captured is events. Now let's see its implementation. So the implementation is done via something called Microsoft Flow. And if you're not familiar with this product, it's an awesome product. This product is built on the top of something called Microsoft Azure Logic Apps. So Logic Apps are workflow engine of Microsoft Azure, and this product is available as part of the Microsoft Power Platform, and it's called Microsoft Power Automate. And inside that, I have created 3 different flows because I wanted to show you like how easy it is to do that. So let's quickly open this detect sentiment, and let's look at its implementation. So here, this particular flow will start whenever a new feedback is submitted. So as you can see here, I have entered the location of my SharePoint site and also where exactly that feedback is getting captured. And the next thing we are doing is we are using an out of the box action called detect sentiment. And for this particular action, we are passing the name of the column or field where we are capturing the comments. And then if you click on these 3 dots here, you will see I can add the connection. So if I click on add a connection, so let's give it a name as MSFT reactor December 2020. Then here you will be providing the cognitive services key, and here you will be providing the site URL. So the site URL in our case is going to be this one. Again, this information is available on your Azure page. The moment you create this text analytics app, if you click on keys and endpoint, so this is the endpoint I'll be copying from here. I'll be pasting here, and then this is one of the keys I need. I will copy that here, and I will paste that here, and then I will click create. And then I just need to make sure that I'm using this connection for this particular particular action. And by using this connection, the Microsoft will make sure or cognitive services will make sure that the call is coming from a valid party, and it will give us the results back. Same implementation we have done to detect the language, where the implementation is pretty identical, where the flow starts whenever a new feedback is submitted. The action we use is different. It's called detect language, and then we have specified the connection to the cognitive service, and then we have specified the name of the column where the comments are getting captured. The third one, which is detect the key phrases, identical implementation, where the flow starts whenever a new items get created in the SharePoint. Then it uses the key phrases. Action, again, it has that connection to our cognitive services text analytics API app. And then whatever the response come back, we'll just update that back to the SharePoint list. Now, when it comes to the Power Automate, we can do that integration with, let's say, OneDrive for Business. You can do that with Dropbox or with Box or any other media location with Office 365 forms using Power Apps. So there are many triggers available. So SharePoint is just an example, but we can do this kind of automation with any other product. You just need to go and find out whether a connector is available for that product or not. So with that, I would like to see if there are any questions in the chat window. Okay. All right. Looks like Rebecca has answered those questions, so thank you. And let me see anything else as well. Okay. All right. Again, if you have any questions on the demo you saw, feel free to post the questions in the chat window. So the next demo I have is using custom code. So here I will be using a Visual Studio. So let me pull the Visual Studio on my second screen here and let me make sure I resize it so the closed captioning is available. All right. All right. So the way this sample is, what I've did is I created a console application using C#, and I added a NuGet package for cognitive services. Again, if you are not sure, then what you can do is you can go to this particular page where you create the text analytics app, click on the quick start. And on this page, if you scroll down, you will see if you click on this C# quick start, if you open that link here, you will see step-by-step tutorial on how to add this text analytics client library and then consume that in a C# application. So let's close this and let's go back to the Visual Studio. So the application that I have built, the way it works is, and again, it ties back to the practical application we can do is identify the contents of the existing files. So I have these two files on my file system on my local machine, test document 1 and text document 2. And these two are Word documents, and the contents of this Word document I'll quickly show you on the screen. In one document, I have cognitive services are awesome, Microsoft is awesome, and AI is awesome. And in the second document, what I have is since we just recently had the elections in the US, I had a popular, one of the commonly known slogan is "Let's make USA great again." And I purposefully added the image of my team. This is me along with my rest of the team members. And I have some columns and I have some information in the column. And the way this C# application will work or console application will work is it will read the contents of each and every file. It will extract that content. It will send that to the text analytics API. And then whatever the response come back, we will be displaying that on the console. And let me go to the helper class and show you the URLs of my different services. So if you take a look at line number 26, 27, and 28, so this is my endpoint URL for to capture to get the sentiment value. This will be my endpoint URL to get the key phrases. This will be my endpoint URL to detect the languages. And you will be seeing that I'm not showing or sharing my subscription key because if you know my endpoint URL and if you know the subscription key, you can make the calls on my behalf. So make sure you are not exposing this particular information anywhere publicly, especially in your source code, or let's say if you're posting the source code on GitHub, make sure you're not including your subscription keys over there. So let me quickly run this application in the debug mode real quick, and then I will explain you the output of it. So I'm now starting this application in debug mode on my machine. And again, the source code of this one is located on my GitHub page. So while this is running, I will quickly go ahead and grab the link to my GitHub account so that you can see the source code. Okay. Right. All right, so now let me show you the console where we have displayed various information. So the first information I would like to highlight is the key phrases. So as you can see from the first document, the key phrase came as the cognitive service, Microsoft and AI. And in the second document, the key phrase came as USA election, USA great. And as far as the language is concerned, both the language came as English. And you can see the confidence score in the first document, it was 0.87. In the second document, it was uh, almost 100% or 1.0. And when it comes to the sentiment score is displayed line by line. For example, first one, it is it is it is qualitative statement, and the score is pretty like 100% or 1.0, where the sentence was Microsoft is awesome, cognitive services are awesome, and AI is awesome. So this is a quick and simple example where we can quickly consume the text analytics API and then create some practical applications from them. So once we have this information about the language and the key phrases, then it's up to me what I do with this information. I can either tag the document with this information, and then depending on the key phrases and language, then I can decide to move this document into other folders or other public cloud storage. Can be Dropbox or Google Drive, or can be Microsoft OneDrive, or it can be Microsoft SharePoint site, Microsoft Teams, or it can be in Azure Blob Storage, or it can be in Amazon Storage, or your on-premise storage as well. So let me stop debugging, and let me quickly find the link of my GitHub page. And in the meantime, I will see if there are any questions. So looks like there are no questions. So let's say github.com/pgbovier, and then I'll quickly go to my samples. Okay. And all right. Let me quickly paste this in the chat window. All right, so here you can go and download the code and play with it. Okay, the next thing I have in my talk is the content classification we already saw. So far what we have seen is in the cognitive services, we don't have any option, especially with the text analytics, to use our own machine learning algorithm or to use our own data to train that machine learning algorithm. So you have to basically live with whatever the results are coming back, because it's Microsoft proprietary service, and Microsoft is in charge of using whatever the machine learning algorithm that they are using behind the scene, and they are in charge of using the data to train that machine learning algorithm. But let's say you would like to create your own custom model and you would like to use your own data to train that model. Then the cognitive services text analytics will not fit the bill for you, right? Then you have to explore some other option. So one of the options we have in Microsoft ecosystem is called Azure Machine Learning. It's basically a fully managed cloud service that enables you to easily build, deploy, and share predictive analytics solution. It's a really good service. You can pretty much do everything using this service. But one of the key things that I like about this service is once you develop a model, you can deploy that model as a web service. That means you can have a really nice integration between data scientists and developers. So data scientists will build custom models, they will train against that model, and once that model is ready, they will deploy that model as a web service. Then developers will come in and then they will start consuming that model as a web service in their custom application and then build intelligent application. So let's just quickly see how this product works. Again, I'm not going to go in deep on this particular product. So what you need to do is use your favorite search engine and favorite browser and just look for Azure Machine Learning. And the URL that you're looking for is, so you'll see the two URLs. One is studio.azureml.net, which is the classic version, and the newer version is ml.azure.com. So you should be using this one. Where you can create the machine learning models and then you can deploy that model as a web services. Now, let's wait for this page to open up. And here you can also use a new one of the offerings under Microsoft called automated ML, where you will have a choice of detecting some pre-built machine learning models, and then you can train those models on your sample data. So here I have used the classic Azure Machine Learning, and I have created a one simple machine learning model, and I had deployed that as a web service. I'm not going to go deep into the machine learning model, but one thing I would like to show you is how easy it is to consume that model as a web service. So here I'll be clicking on the web service and then click on it. And then click on this new web service experience. And once this page loads, then I will click on this consume option over here. And once I click on that, you will see the sample code, generated code for us to consume this particular this machine learning model, which is deployed as a web service, how to consume that using C#, Python, Python 3 plus and R. So this is like really good. There is really good integration story available where your data scientist will develop the model using Azure Machine Learning. You'll deploy that model as a web service, and then your developers will come and then start using this model to build intelligent applications. So one of the things I mentioned in the beginning of the talk is if you are interested in building chatbots, or if you're interested in using Power Platform products like Power Automate or Power Apps, then there is a really good program from Microsoft called Microsoft 65 Developer Program, where if you go to this link, you can sign up for this developer program for free. And once you sign up, you can create your personal Microsoft 365 subscription with E5 license. E5 is the highest category of license available in Microsoft 365. And this license is this particular tenant is really good for your personal training and development. You get 25 users to start with, and the license duration is 90 days. And if you are using this tenant for personal training and development, Microsoft will graciously increase your trial period for additional 90 days. And it will keep on doing as long as this program is active and you are using this subscription for personal training and development. So I created one subscription last 1.5 years before, and I'm still using that subscription, and Microsoft is kind enough to increase the trial period because I'm using that subscription for my personal training and development. If you would like to sign up for a full-blown tenant, then you can always go to the product.office.com and go and then sign up for that. To use cognitive services, you need access to Azure, and there are multiple ways to get your personal Azure subscription. The recommended one is if you have access to MSDN, then get your Azure subscription through your MSDN portal. So go to your MSDN portal and activate your Azure subscription. Right now, depending on your what type of Azure MSDN subscription you have, your monthly credits may vary. But here you don't need to use credit card, and you just get this monthly credit every month, which is really good for personal training and development. Second option is you can always sign up for free trial by going to azure.microsoft.com. Where you do need to use a credit card, and depending on your country, Microsoft will giving you some fixed set of credits that you can use. And any service that is free, you can use that service forever. That's the commitment that Microsoft is giving. There is another program available called Microsoft Imagine. It used to call Dream Spark before, where you don't need a credit card. All you need is a valid .edu account from participating school or institution. So if you or someone from your family is going to the school, and if you have a .edu account, check the Microsoft Imagine page and see whether that account qualifies for a free Azure subscription or not. However, the subscription you get, it comes with a free like limited feature set. Still, it's a really good way to get yourself familiar with Azure and how exactly Azure works. So hopefully the contents we covered today made you explore the cognitive services and Azure machine learning, and you will go home and play with it. And if you are if you would like to play with Power Virtual Agents, or if you would like to play with Power Platform products or Microsoft Teams or SharePoint, then definitely check out the Microsoft 365 developer program. So these are the things we covered today, and these are the references I use. So with that, we come to the end of the talk. So let me know if you have any questions. I will be available here for additional 15 minutes to address any questions you may have. And if you have any follow-up question, feel free to contact me on my via email, or you can also connect me on LinkedIn. I'm also available on Twitter as well. With that, thank you very much for coming. Stay safe and stay healthy, and let me know if you have any questions. And now I will be looking at the questions, and also I'll be posting some links in the chat window.
Thank you so much, Prashant. We had some requests early out specifically for some of the links you showed initially. I was able to capture some of those meetup group links and drop them into the Q&A a little bit earlier. But the links for those events that you mentioned that would be virtual, there were a number that looked quite similar online on a quick search. So if you don't mind providing those links, I'm sure that the attendees would find them very beneficial.
Okay. So what I will do is I'm pasting those links. So just sign up. Let me just paste one so you can keep track of everything. So I will be signing up, pasting the link for the AI machine learning meetup. So once you sign up for that one, you will get all the notifications regarding the future events by just signing up to that link. So go there and just click join the meetup, and then you'll get all the future notification about the events and as and when we announce or open these events for registration.
And I'd like to just interject right now with COVID, as mentioned earlier, most events these days are virtual. So even if you're not located necessarily in our time zone on the East Coast of the USA, if you're located overseas, you know, some of these events might coincide with a time that works with you and your schedule. So definitely, you know, you can sign up now if we ever move back fully to in-person, you know, you can always at that point decide whether you want to continue your membership in those groups if they're no longer applicable. But the Microsoft Reactor does plan to continue virtual events even when in-person resumes again. So definitely continue following, checking out those events. Visit some of the other Microsoft Reactor meetup locations if you belong to Meetup. If you don't belong to Meetup, you can go to microsoftreactor.com. We have a calendar located there where you can search regionally, or you can look at any of the events featured around the world. So it makes it a lot easier to access that information and check out events that, again, maybe aren't necessarily scheduled in your time zone, but work with your personal schedule. Additionally, I dropped a survey link into the Q&A. If you have the time I mentioned earlier, please feel free to submit that, and also use the event code listed there, which is 12378. And then at this time, so Prashant, are you still sharing some links?
I shared all the links as part of the announcement.
Fantastic. Then at this time, I haven't seen any questions come through. We did get a very nice thank you from Mayor.
Since it's a live event, let's wait for a couple of more minutes in case there's a delay in streaming. Otherwise, if there are no questions, then we can conclude at 2:20 p.m. Eastern time.
Of course. We did get slightly off topic, but just an inquiry related to some information. Anyone know of an MS Dynamics meetup group?
Yes, so I have a link to that. So what you can do is just hit me up on Twitter or LinkedIn or email me, and I can send you the information on that, because I know fellow Microsoft MVPs who organize those meetups.
Perfect. Thank you. We
Okay,
got one
so
question.
there is one question. The cognitive services looks great. I would like to use them with Power BI. Yes, you can use that with Power BI. Unfortunately, I'm not aware, like I'm not that well equipped to answer questions related to the Power BI. But I know that yes, you can consume the text, these all the cognitive services with Power BI reports. Most of my experience, I've been using this cognitive services with Power Apps and Power Automate, but unfortunately not with Power BI. So one thing you should keep in mind when using cognitive services is it's a service, it's a paid service. So the results that you get is what, so you know you don't have control over what kind of machine learning model Microsoft will be using behind the scene and what kind of data they will be using to train that service. So those are the three things like you have to always keep in mind. Because if you are looking for a specific use case, then that use case may not be covered by that particular service, and the results you may be seeing does not work for you. In that case, then you just need to go with custom service, or you need to build your own machine learning model. Okay, let's see if there are any more questions. All right. Um, so let me post my contact details again, and then we can conclude because looks like there are no more questions. Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Rebecca. And stay safe and stay healthy. Bye bye.
And thank you, Prashant. We really appreciate everything that you've done for us today and for, participating. This is again mentioned earlier, his second session with us, and we hope to have many more.
Thank you. I will definitely try to come here again. Thank you. Bye bye.
Oh, if you have 1 second, we just got a bunch of, well, not a
Sure.
bunch, but a couple questions that
All
quickly
right.
came through.
Okay. So okay. Let's publish
I'll
them.
publish that. Yeah.
Okay. Um, do have a deep dive session from Microsoft Reactor. Yes. So what I recommend SR is the link of the YouTube channel that Rebecca has posted. Go to that link, that channel. You will see a lot of deep dive sessions there. If you're looking for specific deep dive, there are some product specific channels also there from Microsoft, like Azure AI. That, or you can also go on channel 9 from Microsoft, where you can see deep dive sessions on various product offerings from Microsoft. Um, Okay, can you explain how much use of, okay, so Adrian, the free tier varies for each service. So what I recommend to you is go to each service page and look for what is available in the free tier of that particular service. So in case of text analytics API, I think we can allow to make some fixed set of calls to that particular service within the context of 30 days. So each service will have its own limitation, but good thing is each service comes with the free tier, and you can use that free tier to play with that.
Okay. So there is once again a low. Shall we call it a wrap?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
So thank you all again for attending. We really hope you enjoyed this session. Definitely check back. We're always updating our calendar with future events. And of course, definitely check out Prashant's various meetup pages that he spoke about and posted about earlier. There is thankfully a wealth of information that exists out there. So for you to continue learning, and new technology is always coming out. So definitely check back. And thank you one final time. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.